Think about the person who was always there for you, the one who checked on you when things went wrong, the one who knew your secrets, the one you never questioned. Now ask yourself one thing: how well do you actually know them? Because here is what psychology has proven about the people closest to you. The most dangerous person in your life is never a stranger. It is never someone you already distrust. It is always someone who has already earned your complete trust. And today, I am going to show you 6 psychological signs that someone close to you was never actually on your side. Pay attention to every single one, because by the end of this video, you are going to think of at least one specific person in your life, and that recognition is going to be uncomfortable. But before we get into the signs, I want you to understand something important. Fake people are not born fake. Psychology tells us that people who perform loyalty while secretly working against you learned this behavior as a survival strategy. They discovered early in life that appearing trustworthy gave them access to information, access to opportunities, access to people they could use. And the better they got at performing care, the more access they received. So when you meet someone like this, you are not dealing with a bad person making bad choices. You are dealing with someone who has been practicing this their entire life. And that is exactly what makes them so difficult to detect. Sign 1. They show up every time things go wrong, but disappear when things go right. Think carefully about that one person in your life. When you lost the job, they were the first to call. When the relationship ended, they appeared immediately. When you were struggling financially, they were suddenly very present. But when you got promoted, when you found someone good, when something finally worked out, they were busy, unavailable, suddenly distant. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern rooted in psychology. Research on social comparison shows that people who are secretly envious of you experience genuine discomfort at your success. Your pain does not threaten them. Your success does. So they gravitate toward your low moments because that is where they feel most comfortable around you. But here is what makes this so hard to catch. They are so consistently present during your hard times that your brain registers them as supportive. You remember the comfort they provided. You forget the absences during your wins. Your mind builds a false picture of loyalty based on incomplete data, and that false picture is exactly what they count on. Sign 2. They ask questions that feel like care but function like intelligence gathering. How is that new job going? Are things better with your family now? How are you doing financially these days? On the surface, this sounds like someone who genuinely wants to know how you are doing. But watch what happens with that information afterward. Your private struggles become topics in conversations you were never invited to. Your vulnerabilities quietly circulate through your social circle. And somehow the person who asked is always at the center of it. Psychology calls this parasocial extraction, gathering personal information under the cover of emotional support and using it later for social leverage. The key sign is not the questions themselves. It is what happens to the answers afterward. If your private information consistently finds its way to people who should not have it, trace the source. 9 times out of 10, you will find the same person at the beginning of that chain. Therefore, stop measuring loyalty by how much someone asks about your life. Start measuring it by what they do with what you tell them. Real friends hold your information like it is sacred. Fake ones hold it like it is currency. Sign 3. They celebrate your failures with just a little too much energy. Not obviously, not in a way you can easily call out in the moment, but you can feel it. There is a specific quality to their sympathy when things go wrong for you. A slight brightness, a little too much detail in the follow-up questions, a particular attentiveness that feels different from genuine concern. And then when things start going well, that energy disappears, replaced by a vague disinterest, a subject change, a sudden focus on something else entirely. What you are detecting is real. Neuroscience research on envy shows that people who secretly resent your success experience something called Freudenfreude in reverse. Your pain literally activates their reward system. They are not choosing to feel this way, but they are choosing to stay close to you because of it. But here is the thing that will genuinely disturb you. These are often the same people who perform the loudest support publicly. The first ones to say, "I am so proud of you" in front of others. The performance is for the audience around them. The scoreboard is private, and it has been running since the day you met them. Sign 4. They subtly remind you of your past failures every time you start moving forward. It is never a direct attack. It is always framed as concern. Remember when you tried something like this before and it did not work out? I just do not want to see you get hurt again. I am only saying this because I care about you. Said with a warm expression, said at exactly the right moment, always landing when your confidence is at its highest, always arriving right before something good. Psychology identifies this as covert undermining, a pattern where someone consistently introduces doubt and past failure at the precise moment you are closest to a breakthrough. It is not accidental timing. The timing is the entire point. They are not trying to protect you. They are trying to keep you at a level where your success does not threaten their comfort. Therefore, pay attention to who in your life consistently makes you feel smaller right before something big. Real people who care about you push you toward the future. They do not anchor you to the worst moments of your past. Sign 5. You consistently feel drained after spending time with them and you cannot explain why. Not tired from a long day, not tired from a difficult conversation, a specific kind of empty, like something was quietly extracted during the interaction. You arrived feeling okay and left feeling less than yourself. That feeling is not weakness. That feeling is data. Your nervous system is registering a threat that your conscious mind is still rationalizing away. Research on emotional labor shows that interactions with people who perform care while feeling contempt create a specific kind of psychological fatigue in the target. Your brain is working overtime trying to reconcile the warmth you are seeing with the wrongness you are sensing. That effort is exhausting, and it leaves a very specific residue that feels different from ordinary tiredness. The people who are genuinely in your corner leave you feeling seen even after the hardest conversations. The people who are secretly against you leave you feeling confused and slightly less than yourself. Every single time without exception. Your body knew before your mind caught up. Sign 6, and this is the one that changes everything. They built the entire relationship on your vulnerability. Think about how this person entered your life or how they became close to you. Was it during a hard period, a loss, a transition, a moment when you were not fully yourself? People who are skilled at false loyalty are experts at identifying vulnerability and positioning themselves as the solution to it. They show up with exactly the right energy at exactly the right time, and in doing so, they earn a level of access and trust that takes years to build under normal circumstances. But here is what that access actually gave them: your fears, your insecurities, your specific weak points, your relationship patterns. Everything you shared in your most vulnerable moments handed over willingly because you believed you were talking to a safe person. And they have been holding all of it ever since. A person who builds a relationship on your pain is not there to help you through it. They are there because your pain made you accessible. And accessible people are useful people to someone who operates this way. So what do you actually do with this information? First, stop giving access based on proximity. Just because someone has been around for a long time does not mean they have earned the right to your deepest information. Trust is not built by time alone. It is built by consistent behavior across both your good moments and your bad ones. Second, start watching patterns, not performances. Anyone can perform care in a single moment. Patterns over time tell the real story. Who shows up for your wins? Who holds your information carefully? Who makes you feel bigger after every conversation? Those are your real people. Everyone else is an audience member pretending to be a cast member in your life. And here is the thought I want to leave you with. You already know who I'm talking about. You have known for a while. You just kept giving them the benefit of the doubt because the alternative felt too painful to accept. But here's the most controversial thing I'm going to say today. Some people in your life are not just indifferent to your success. They are genuinely more comfortable when you are struggling. And protecting yourself from those people is not paranoia. It is the most rational decision you will ever make. Drop a yes in the comments if you already have someone specific in mind, because I guarantee you are not alone in this.